and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Irma and you can find me on YouTube, Reverie and Instagram as Wolwerkjes. Welcome to this space on the internet. I talk here about the things I make, mostly knitting, and just let's get started. Okay, first I start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a shawl. I will take it off so I can show it a little bit better. It's a pattern I knit up, I think 2 years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. It's the scania shawl. It's a pattern from, they changed name. It's Blueprint now, but it was Craftsy. I think they still have it. It's knit from this corner to this side, and you knit a border or edge which is mock cable, so no cable needle, no cabling, but it looks like a cable, which is quite nice. And you also make the fringes as you go, so you got a shawl with fringes all over without needing to tie them afterwards. And it's a pay-for pattern, so I'm not gonna give away the trick, but it was really fun to do, and I think I will use it for maybe a shawl I make myself someday. The yarn came with a pattern. You could choose a color palette, and I chose this one and I'm really happy with it. It's asymmetrical, which makes it a little bit hard to wear sometimes, because I like to cover up the front piece of my chest mostly when I wear those things, so I have to be like draping it a little bit. But it's a nice shawl. It's non-superwash merino, and yeah, I'm not wearing it that often, but it's a nice shawl, and I took it out of the closet today. So I'm wearing another thing, and I'm going to stand up so I can show you. Some of you will maybe recognize the fabric. I made a dress with this fabric a while ago, and it's the same piece, only I wasn't happy with the top part of this dress, so I cut it off and I made a skirt out of it, and put some, it's a stretchy material, so I put some elastic in it, and now I have a skirt. And I'm very happy that I did that, because I get more wear out of it now, just because the top part didn't fit that well, and I think that was more my problem than the pattern's problem, but I really like wearing it now, so that's really nice. And those are the things I'm wearing at the moment. I think the coming weeks there will be more knitwear that I will wear, because it's getting colder and colder outside. I think it was 9 degrees Celsius this morning, which is not like freezing cold, but cold enough to really cover yourself up when you go outside. So that's really fun. So we will see what I will be wearing next time. Next thing I want to talk about are finished objects, and this piece I finished end of July, beginning of July, I don't know, somewhere around July. I test knitted a pattern which I was not allowed to talk about for quite a while, and last time I forgot. So I will show you this time. I think I forgot last 2 times, to be honest. But I can show you now. I did a test knit for Laine magazine for... oh, I should have looked up the name of the pattern. I'll pop it on the screen. It's really bad. I don't remember the full name of the designer and the pattern. Excuse me, but it's been a long time since I knit it. And it is this sweater. It's with cables and a kind of ribbed feeling to it. It has a high-low hem, so longer at the back than at the front. And it's knit in pieces, so the seams at the shoulder, there is some shaping. It's a dropped shoulder, but there is some shaping. And it's knit together with a 3 needle bind off, I think. I think I did a 3 needle bind off. Let me check. Or is it sewn together? That's also a possibility. Let me see. Yeah, it's sewn together. It's not a 3 needle bind off, it's sewn together. And the sleeves are plain. I haven't blocked this yet, but as you wear it, it will get more equal as well. You do not always have to block it. It looks better when you block it, but it will look better after a few times of wearing it as well. It has quite a high color, and yeah, I knit this in a month. We only had a month to knit this pattern and to test knit the pattern. So when you test knit, it's not always like finishing. It's nice if you can finish it, because you can give a picture to the designer of your products, so they can see how it looks in different yarn on different people. But the most important thing about the test knit is that you have tested the complete pattern. And like in this pattern, the collar was knitted after it had been sewn together, and it's bottom up, so you quite have to finish the whole thing to be able to test the color. So I had to knit the whole sweater in a month and it was hot in that month, so it was quite a thing. It's a superwash. Is it superwash? I don't know if it's superwash. I don't think it's superwash. It's a merino yarn. I think it's a non-superwash merino yarn, and it's quite heavy. I think it's a worsted yarn, worsted spun yarn. I know worsted can be used as a weight of yarn as well, but I now meant the way it's spun, so not woolen spun, but worsted spun. I think the weight of the yarn is DK, but it's quite a heavy sweater. I will put it on for you, but it is not my size. I knit this for my mom, so she has a bigger size than I have. Not that much, but a little bit, and she likes her clothes to be wide, so it's nice for me to be able to knit something for her, because it gives me a little bit of a wider range to test for people. So that's it. I will put it on so you can have kind of an idea how it is on a person. So here it is. I put it on. It's a little bit too big for me, but that doesn't really matter. It's a nice cozy sweater this way, but it's for my mom, as I said. And you see that the structure is quite nice, and you have the, I don't know if I can show. Whew. You have the high-low side with a split hem. It's not the most flattering way to wear it over this skirt, but you can have an idea. It's a really fun pattern. It's although it's quite a lot of crossing stitches and cabling, it's kind of repetitive pattern. So after a few inches you kind of know what the stitches are doing and where the changes are in the pattern. So that's quite nice. You don't have to look at the I don't have to look at the chart all the time. Maybe some people do, but I didn't have to look at the chart all the time. So it was a really fun test knit to do, and now I have shown you I can give it to my mom. It's a pattern, as I said, out of the newest Laine, issue 9 it is. And yeah, if you are into cozy, comforty sweaters, it's sure one thing to do. Because of the cabling, you get a little bit denser fabric, so it gives a little bit more warmth, which can be nice. One other thing, the original pattern is I think this much shorter. So I made it longer because that's how my mom prefers her sweaters, so that's why I knit it a little bit longer. But the original pattern is a little bit shorter than this one, which is fine. So everybody has preferences. I'm going to take this off because it will get too hot in a few seconds. So if you want to knit that sweater, it's in Laine issue 9. You can buy it at a lot of local yarn stores, and I think a lot of online shops, online yarn stores do have it as well. And you can always order from their own website. And yeah, I really liked the experience of this test knit. Let me see other finished objects. I don't have other finished objects, so that's that. I do have another test knit, which I can show. And it's a pattern from Melanie. She has the Braid and Tinker podcast. She lives also in the Netherlands, in Haarlem, I think. And she designed a sock pattern, and I offered to test it for her. I dropped some stitches yesterday because I like to knit on top of pointed needles, and I just took a needle out, so I have to fix some things, but all the stitches are secure now, so it's not completely right at the point of the needles, but I can show you. So I will show you the front. It's a kind of cable. It's not really a cable, but it's kind of a cable, because the point of a cable is that you switch stitches from one place to the other, and something like that is happening over here. There is, let me see when I put my hand in that it will stretch out a little bit more. Not really, but there are eyelets over here with like a mock cable, I think, because it looks like a little cable to the side, but there's no cabling involved in this part of the pattern. And it was really fun to test. I love how it looks, and I will put the name of the pattern underneath. I think the release date is the 10th of October this year, 2019. So that's nice. It has a heel flap and gussets, so that always fits me nice. So that's really fun. It was fun to help her out with testing the pattern, and yeah, I don't have that much else to say about it. It's not a difficult pattern, but maybe not like for the real beginner, because of the cable-like stitches and those stuff. It's kind of memorizable, and I normally don't use a row counter, but I think I could have used one with this, because it's not difficult and it's the same every so many rows. But when you put it away and you pick it back up, it's kind of hard to reach where you are in the pattern sometimes. I managed it because I'm used to doing that, but I think it's a pattern that's nice for row counter. But I love knitting it, and I really want to finish them because then I can wear them. I tested the whole pattern, but I did not have the time to finish the whole sock, but I hope I will before... I hope I will finish one before the release date, so I can add it to Ravelry when it is opened up. So that's really, really nice, and it's a fun sock to knit on. So that's that. It's her first pattern, so that's really nice that you make such a beautiful sock in your first pattern. That's really fun. I'm picking on my yarn because my cat has lain down on it, and I don't think you can see, but there was all like white hairs and fluff sticking out of it, so that's why I was putting things like getting the hairs off. Really nice sock, and I hope for her that it will be a huge success. Again, Melanie, Braid and Thinker podcast, her first pattern, a really nice sock pattern, and you can buy it from the 10th of October. So that's something I've been knitting on the past few weeks, and I'm thinking about what I have worked on as well. I did like 4 or 5 rows on my other pair of socks, so I'm not gonna show you that. But I worked on 2 other projects, and I will show you this one, but it's not really different than last time, but I made quite some progress. It's the sweater for my husband. It's a pattern by Arne and Carlos. Let me see where my needles are so I don't drop all the stitches. And maybe it looks for you the same as it did last time, but I put my stitch marker, my progress keeper, over here, and you can see I made quite some progress. Not like a lot, but I think it's enough to show you. It's fingering weight yarn, so it takes quite some time to grow the pattern, and I can't wait until I'm at the point for the top part of the color work, because there I need to pay a little bit more attention to the pattern, and I can use it now, so that's really nice. And growing steadily, which is a good thing, because it was languishing around for quite some time, as I told you last time. I do have another work in progress, and I will show you. It's my vertices night shawl. Last time I was on section 4. I finished section 4. Section 4 is hard to show because, again, it's on a little bit too short of a cable, but it's this blue part. I like this blue. It's like not a solid color, like tonal. It's like a jeans color. I like it, and I'm working on section 5 now, which is the second to last. Do you say second to last? Not the last, but the one before. It's going like this, so you do some increasing at the sides, and over here it's attached to this green section, and you can see I'm almost done with this section, because when I'm in this corner this part is done. I striped the orange yarn, which I used earlier on over here, with the light color of this one, and it gives a really nice effect. The thing with this pattern, and I've seen some people starting it and doubting their color choices, and I had the same feeling in the beginning when I joined in this orange. But with this pattern you take 5 colors, but whichever color you call A, B, C, D, E gives a completely different look to your shawl. Then yeah, it has a great influence in how your shawl is going to look. So for example, if I had chosen this orange color as a color in this piece, it would have a complete different look than it has now, and then those yarns would have appeared at a different place in this pattern. So it's not only choosing your colors right, it's also planning where which color is gonna be, because I really wanted those 2 colors together. So, and I wanted those 2 colors together. So with in mind, which colors do I want to go together, which colors do I don't want as a solid, because I was also sure I didn't want the orange as a solid piece in my shawl, like this blue for example. I didn't want a one colored section be in orange. So in that way you can decide which color goes where, and that's a huge influence on how your shawl is going to be, because I've seen a few people knitting this pattern. I think there's a knit along somewhere, I don't know. I saw somewhere something pop up somewhere, but I didn't join. But I saw quite a few of the vertices unite appear, and some people underestimate the planning of the colors, and this just shows 5 beautiful colors together, but then knitting it up in a way that it doesn't look like they want it to look. And I think when they have told maybe a little bit more about which color goes where, that it would have looked completely different. And I think it's a pattern that will always be fun to wear, because you have so many sections. You can always choose how you're gonna wear it, which color pops up the most. So I don't think you can go wrong. But for to keep the disappointment away, it's good to think about where you put which color, I think. So that's a thing I saw coming up on the internet, so that's why I talk a little bit about here. But it's growing really, really a lot. I can't even, it's already wider than my wingspan and I still need to add another piece. So, but I'm really, really happy with it, and I can't wait to finish it. And then I have to knit a border, which is quite a big border. But we will see how I'll manage that. But I'm still enjoying this piece, and I decided I'm going to knit this one also out of my own yarn, because it's a really fun project to show a lot of colors together. So I think that will be one of the next projects I'm going to start. I have one more work in progress, and it doesn't show as that much right now. This is going to be a jumper or a sweater, however you want to call it. We mean the same thing. It's a pattern, I think it's by Andrea Mary. I didn't look at the designer's name, which is really bad because I normally do. I think it's an Andrea pattern. It's constructed really interesting. I knew this construction method existed, but I have never knitted it. This is the back, and I will pick up stitches here to knit the front, and then you will join in the round, I think, and then you knit the body and then attach the sleeves. This yarn gives a really nice marled effect. I don't know how I got this yarn. It's deep old stash, and I came across it and I was like, I really need to use it up, because otherwise I will never. And I was looking for something to wear on this skirt, actually, because I do like wearing this type of skirts, but I don't have that much things to wear over it. I think it needs to be fitted, because my skirt is wide. I want the top part to be fitted. And I do have like a lot of summer things that are fitted, but not that much autumn and winter garments. So that's why I chose to knit this sweater, because it will be a fitted sweater that goes up to the waist. I think a little bit lower than the waist, or something, somewhere around that. And at the waist it has like a tight rib, so it will be really fitted, and I think it will be really nice on this skirt. And I really like how the fabric is looking. It's really hard to count stitches, so maybe I also need a row counter here. It's really hard to see the stitches, but that makes it a really fun sweater to wear, I think. So like, it is hand knitted, but I don't think everybody will see it's hand knitted. You can see the stitches, but it's really like, from far away, it's really like just a piece of fabric without actually seeing it's knitted. And yeah, I'm very curious how this will fit me. I'm a little bit off the gauge that was advised, but knitwear, I knit a little bit tighter, but knitwear can stretch quite much, and you can choose which size. I know my gauge is a little bit tighter, so I can go for a little bit larger size. You can play around with that, but it's not yarn that's dear to my heart, so when it doesn't work, then I have knitted it and I enjoy the knit for now, so we will see what comes of it. But I hope it will fit, because I think it will be really wearable, this color. So that's something I'm working on. I already told you I want to knit another Vertices Unite, although my first one isn't finished yet, but I would really like to knit it from my own yarn someday. And there's another thing I really want to knit, and that is my Christmas yarn. It's better to show it from this side. Doesn't really matter, but it's the self-striping yarn, and I really like it. It makes me really happy. It's called Yule Ball. There is still some left in the shop, I think. I dyed some more this week, so there will be definitely more in the shop when you see this. I really want to make a sample for people to show it. So I got a dilemma: finishing the pattern I tested for Melanie, or start for my own yarn a new sock. And I'm not sure which one is gonna win, but I really want to start this. And I think then I have enough projects again on the needles. I had a little bit of a cast-on kick. Not that bad. I only casted on a new sock and a new sweater, and I don't have a sweater on the needles. But I also have my Gala shawl still waiting. The reason why I haven't knit that much on my Gala shawl is because I'm afraid I don't have enough yarn, and that would make me really sad. And I I think I'm still in my head. I know I don't have enough, but I'm still hoping I do have enough. And as long as I don't knit on it, there's no problem. But I really want to start it because it's really big and cozy, and especially when the weather is getting colder, it would be really nice to wear it. So maybe I will knit a bit on it this afternoon or maybe tonight. I don't know, but yeah, it's denial. It's denial. And I better just do it and accept that I definitely have yarn shortage. And I will have to look for more. Oh my, it's not that bad, but it's sad. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to talk you. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I sound still terrible with a cold, but that's just how it is. And I think I have been like this for 6 weeks now, maybe longer. So I hope it will pass away quite soon because it's tiring to be with a cold for that long. I hope you have a nice week and you will see me in 2 weeks. Bye!